Nail or beauty school was just the beginning, right? What on earth do you do now? Welcome to the Salon Success podcast with Monaco Nail Academy. Our topics stretch beyond nails and into all things salon related, business, marketing, and social media, and at the very least hit you with real, honest stories about our experiences. This isn't school. This is real life, real business, and really freaking hard work. The Salon Success podcast is recorded live on Mondays at 5 p.m. New Zealand time via facebook.com/Monaco Nail Academy and is available on Spotify and Google playlists. Before we get started, wherever you are, thumbs up, tag a friend in the comments, or hit that share button and support small business. Alrighty, so welcome to the Salon Success podcast. I'm Penny. If you listen to us regularly, then you've heard my voice 1,000 times before. But today I am joined by Jessie. Say hi.
I'll use this hand. Hi.
Lots of people listen rather than just watching the video that is streaming now on our Facebook page. So
I'm quite happy to hear that.
So if you are watching now live on our Facebook page, just pop a comment and say hi so that we know who we're chatting to. So Jessie is one of the new educators at Monaco Nail Academy, and she's just finished her 3rd class day. And I roped her in because Rochelle has deserted us to go and play rugby, and Mariah's in meetings, and Janelle's got clients, and so
unfortunately
it's just me, you, and all these people. Hi to Holly and Yana and Cheyenne. Nice of you guys to join us. I know we weren't here last week, and I'm sorry about that. I sort of thought no one would notice, and then I saw Gina, and she was like, where was the podcast? So I'm glad you guys listen. I'm glad to see lots of you have just jumped straight on. So today we are doing a bit of a mishmash of topics. We're going to cover a few bits and pieces that were like not big enough to be their own topics, but still worth chatting about. So the first thing that I wanted to chat about was rebooking clients. So this is the only topic that I gave Jessie a heads up on. So while we chat about it, you guys can tell us in the comments if you are watching live how you go about rebooking clients and whether or not you feel that you are successful at rebooking clients or whether or not that's a struggle for you. Jessie, you're just kicking your home salon back into gear after having a baby, right? So yes. Are you in the throes of rebooking now?
Yes, and I felt like I never really got to the point where people were rebooking with me before I had my baby. So I feel like I'm finally a grown-up.
Because people come back.
Yeah, well, I think before I had my baby, I was practicing, and then just after I had my baby, I just graduated. And then what I've found is people weren't approaching me for nails, even though they knew I did nails, because they were like, she just had a baby, we're going to leave her alone. Whereas I was seeing it as nobody has any need for me. I'm not going to make it. But now that I've started being consistent on my page and actually come out with a price list and giving people options, I'm getting rebooking. And it is like the biggest compliment. Biggest compliment to get.
Do you know, rebooks. Tangentially, but you know how you're saying that they weren't booking because they're like, oh, we don't want to bug you, you've just had a baby. Yeah, I learned not to tell people I was busy. Like when people say, oh, how's your week been? I learned not to say real busy. Yeah. Because I would have people come back with one nail that was like a mall salon, like cheap job. And I'd be like, why didn't you come to me? And they're like, well, because you're so busy. I didn't want to bother you. And I'm like, now I have to deal with this.
So the trick is finding a balance between looking booked, not overbooked, but busy. Looking
successful.
Looking successful and looking overworked.
Yeah. And people knew that it was really hard to get a regular booking with us because we were so busy. But the thing is that like you get cancellations and people moving all the time. So it's always worth checking for
I feel like once somebody opens up a cancellation page, they've made it.
I get that. Yeah.
Like the thought of one makes me a little bit scared because I struggle in being consistent with my like admin work of my business. But when somebody announces that they now need a cancellation page, I'm like, oh, they've made it. Like,
fair.
That's awesome.
So I think the main thing with actually getting rebookings is asking for them. Like, which I think is almost at cliche level of like, well, did you ask?
It's scary though.
It's real scary.
It's really scary.
But the thing is, like, so before I was running Monaco Nail Academy full-time, we had a full-time salon and we had staff and that sort of thing. And I had one staff member who just was really like, just could not get rebookings. Like, it was really, really bizarre how people who were regulars, who always rebooked, would get to the end of an appointment with her and not rebook. And it wasn't because she was bad. She was great at what she did, and she had good service, good quality nails. They lasted a long time. All the boxes were ticked. However, it was how she dealt with the end of the appointment, where she would say, okay, cool, so that's this much. And you know, here's, we gave out chocolates at the end of the appointment. So she'd be like, there'll be this much. Thanks. Take the money. Here's your chocolate. All right. So I'll see you next time. And then she would walk off to like disinfect her files or that sort of thing. Yeah. And they would go, oh, okay, bye. And like, they would leave with no rebooking. And so, I literally ran after one of them once and was like, wait, you didn't rebook. And I did that on another occasion where, she had actually asked, and this is where it, you know, like, this is where it becomes slightly more complicated than just, do you want to rebook and expecting them to? Yeah. Because if you say to someone, do you want to rebook? And I think we all get the same anxiety of like, oh, are we putting pressure on them? What if they didn't like us? What if they only rebook because they feel like they have to?
But nobody's going to say no and like walk out.
Want to bet?
Well, I haven't heard anybody say that. I always, if I don't want to rebook with somebody, I always come up with an excuse.
They just say they'll call you later.
Yeah, I always say something like, oh, my schedule is so flexible, I never know when I'm going to be able to do it, so I'll give you a call.
Yeah.
But then I know when people say that to me that they don't want to rebook. But sometimes I want, like, it's usually with haircuts. Sometimes I want to see how my haircut goes before I rebook a haircut, because it's easier than finding out 2 weeks down the track that actually, yeah, that is a crap haircut, and now I have to ring and cancel my appointment. I would rather be like, oh, I'll have to call you because I'm a mom.
Yeah. Well, okay, so and if someone says the standard, I'll call, then what I will always say to them is, no worries at all. That's totally fine. I'll just show you what's available in 2 weeks so that when you call, you know, and I'll click forward to 2 weeks. Then they see that there's shit all available in 2 weeks. And I say, okay, look, well, around the time that you normally come, I've got, 6 o'clock on this day and 7:30 on this other day, but that's about all I've got left. So just keep that in mind. And when you call, tell me this. And I don't put pressure on them because I'm not really a very good natural salesperson. I don't like the idea of putting pressure on someone to rebook. I really don't like the idea of them coming in because I made them rebook. Like, they felt like they had to. So I'll always say.
That's like the 3 seconds of awkwardness or like a whole nother appointment of awkwardness.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, if I say, do you want to rebook? And they say, oh, I'll just give you a call, which is the 99% standard excuse. Then I just say, sure, no, not a problem at all. I will just show you what's available so that you know what to look for in your diary. And I'll say, these are the couple that are available. And about 50% of the time, they will then go, oh, is that all? At which point I say, yeah, it's pretty busy at the moment. Do you want me to pencil something in? And then you can call me to change it if it doesn't work.
Yeah.
So, like, I will get an appointment in. They can call if they don't want it. And 99% of the time, they don't call back. So they do actually come. They do actually keep that booking that you penciled in for them, and you got a rebooking.
And for me, subconsciously seeing somebody's schedule and seeing that they're hard to get in with shows me that they're good.
Yeah.
And so I automatically know that, I'm going to regret it if I don't rebook right now.
Even if they're not like, I think a lot of newbies are like, wait, but I only have like 2 clients. So like that trick won't work. But it's not a trick. It is literally just this is what's available. They're able to visualize what they can get. And if you are quite new, then chances are you're only available a couple of evenings a week anyway.
Yes, exactly.
And I would recommend that while you're new, don't make your availability 24/7, which is what I did.
They'll walk all over you.
Yeah, make your availability 6 till 9, Tuesday and Thursday, full stop. And then you are that busy. You do only have 2 spaces left.
I don't know whether this is going on a tangent, but also try, if you are available for quite a few hours and say you're not actually that busy that week, try though to get people that are rebooking in with other people that have rebooked. So you're not like doing a 10 a.m. on a Wednesday and then a 3 p.m. on a Thursday. Like try and be like, okay, I have 11 a.m. on a Wednesday, because then you're getting back to back.
That's what I do with like
and then you can say, I'll finish up with this client at 11 a.m. on Wednesday. How does 11 a.m. on Wednesday sound?
Yeah. Most of my clients are recurring regulars now, so they have their set appointments. But it's amazing. But I have a few people that aren't, that have to, like, due to shift work and stuff like that, they have to book week to week. And I always only tell them that what I've got available is immediately before and immediately after my blocks of clients. I don't do people in the middle of the day.
It's like I went camping this year, and at the end of camping, they say, would you like to rebook for next year?
Do they?
Yeah. And of course, I'm just like, no, that was hell. No, it wasn't really. I have 4 children. It was kind of hard. But they say to you, okay, just so you know, as soon as you leave the premises, this booking on this day and that campsite, that actual number of your campsite, is open for anybody to book into. So we will only hold this booking on this week of next year for you until you leave the door right now. And so I'm just like, okay, pencil me in.
That would actually, that is too much commitment. That would make me run. That would make me
but then like I knew that we would be with the same people that we were camping with, and so
it's so much commitment.
It is a lot.
The fact that I am going to have the same tent space, no, it's too much
we
commitment.
loved our tent space.
We have a couple of comments running in. So Tony said, at the end of every appointment, I always ask what their calendar is like in 2 to 3 weeks to rebook. That way 90% of people book at the end of their appointment. So that's definitely like in line with what we were saying. Cheyenne said, I always casually throw into conversation about their next appointment. We can do this, and always ask them if they want to rebook for 2 or 3 weeks.
I like that.
That is smart. Yeah, like setting the idea already in their head, that
like telling them what's going to happen with their product and what they can expect. And it's interesting because like I think I do that with like complicated nail art, but I'm not doing it on purpose. But like if someone comes in with something really complicated, I want to be able to do a good job, so I will say, we could do that next time because I can book in more time and I can be better prepared to be doing this. But this week we need to do something simpler. And so that would be another way of getting another appointment in their mind. That's a good idea.
Cheyenne said if there's an option to book online, they will use that as an excuse not to book on the spot. So like to rebook, they'll go, just do it online, which I think... I think clients used to do that. I do have online booking, but I have very strict hours in my online booking because I don't want to edit availability to have the first and last open all the time. Yeah. So I just have like, I think 4 till 8, 3 days a week on my online booking, and it's almost always full. So I don't hear that very often just because there's
I don't have online booking at the moment.
Online booking's great. Moana said, what if you don't want them to rebook? All right. What if you don't want them to rebook?
Go and clean your files once you've finished.
Do what my staff member did.
We were talking about this in class last week and how we've got maybe clients that aren't looking after your nails how you want them to. And so therefore they're sort of
people that pick
damaging your nail, damaging their nails and damaging your name when they go out there and say where they get their nails done. And what I found interesting was Penny was saying, we'll just make it really hard for them to rebook. And so we're telling them what our availability is. And I just thought that was
The thing is, the way
This
that
is hard stuff for me.
The way you phrase something changes the entire perspective. So, like, if you say to someone who you want to rebook, oh, like I've only got 6 o'clock on Tuesday and I've only got 8 o'clock on Thursday. Do you want me to pencil something in so you don't miss out? Versus to someone you don't want to rebook. To be honest, I've only really got 6 o'clock on Tuesday. Maybe give me a call when you get to your calendar. Like,
yeah,
it's tone and that sort of thing. But also, yeah, if it
and
depends,
saying it so flippantly that they're probably not going to remember the date you said anyway.
Yeah. Like maybe just give me a call tomorrow and we'll see if anything's opened up. That kind of thing, like not committing. But I think it depends why you don't want them to come back. Like if you don't want them to come back because they ruin their nails, then I would have always given them a chance to not ruin their nails, because I would have said, like people will come in if they've picked off all their gel and be very sheepish about it and go, oh, I'm going to get in trouble from Penny. And I'll be like, well, I mean, it's not really trouble, because if you want to destroy your nails, you can destroy your nails. It's just going to be really disappointing when I can't do them again, because it's not going to stick as well. You're going to ruin your nails and I can't put product on damaged nails. So we're going to have to do IBX weekly until it comes back. So it's really just up to you if you want to pick them off. And then, like we've already talked about it and I've already told them I'm not going to be able to do it. So then when they come back and they've picked it off again, I just say, look, I really think we need to take a break from doing your nails, because they need to
need to take a break.
They need to grow out a bit.
This relationship isn't working, actually.
But I think, though, if it's just a client where you don't enjoy doing their nails, I still think it's perfectly reasonable to fire them, to not rebook them. Like there is in terms of like the law, you are not allowed to decline someone because of race or gender or religion, things like that. However, you can decline a client that you don't want to serve. There is no law that says you have to do their nails unless they can prove that it's because they are, like, you were racist or you were whatever thing you've done that breaches human rights law.
And there's so many reasons, like, you could give them, like, oh, I am finding this a little bit too much, my hours, and so I've just decided, like you did, you only kept 15. Your 15 clients, like, and so you can say things like, I've had to adjust my work hours and I'm sorry, but you'll have to find a new nail tech, or I'm only keeping my regulars, or I'm only keeping the people that can come on these days, or, you know, there are certain ways. And if people don't get the vibe, like, flip, like, there are I don't know. I mean, first of all, take it as a compliment, like that they want to come back to you even though they're getting the vibe that you don't really want them. You're obviously a good nail tech if that is the case. But yeah, I don't know. Like I'm a dove. If we're talking about personality types, I just found out this week, and I didn't realize. I thought I was an owl, even slightly eagle maybe, but no. I do appreciate honesty, so I appreciate it if somebody was to tell me in a nice way, like, I don't know, like, you keep picking off your nails. I'm not, this is my name. And you've got to give them a warning. You can't just fire them like that. But I don't know. I appreciate honesty, so I tend to be a bit honest. But I would definitely not be abrupt and only give them one chance. Like, I think they would see it coming.
I think as well, though, like, if the reason that you don't want to do their nails anymore is because, like, for example, they cancel all the time, or they postpone all the time, or they're not particularly nice, you don't enjoy spending an hour or two of your fortnight with them, then sometimes you don't want to be so honest, because
I'd be honest if somebody was canceling all the time.
Yeah, but it depends. I think I mean more like if they're quite abrasive.
Yeah,
like,
if it's just because you don't enjoy being around them. Yeah, I don't know how you would do that.
Well, so if it's the people who cancel all the time, then I just prepay. I require them to prepay. And that's not because I want to get rid of them. It's because I want them to stop canceling all the time. So I just say, like, that's fine that you've cancelled this first time. But just so you know, if it happens again, we will have to do your appointments prepaid and it's non-refundable. And so when they cancel again, you just say, that's fine. For me to be able to rebook you, I'm going to need you to prepay that next appointment, and it's non-refundable. And then most of the time they if they prepay, then cool, great, problem
if they
solved.
don't prepay, you've lost the client that you didn't want.
Exactly. And most of the time that's what it is. It deters them.
Not very close to you, Penny.
Come and cuddle.
I don't cuddle.
I know that's the only reason I could say come and cuddle is because I know you wouldn't.
I'm like, how do I get closer without actually touching her?
Yeah. I think when it's just someone that you don't like, that's when it's really hard, because most of us aren't in a position to just throw away clients.
Well, yeah, I think then you have to weigh up, like, okay, it's 45 minutes of my life, and why don't I like her? Is it just because she says things I don't like? Is it because she like swears a lot? It's got to be something like, okay, can I put up with it for 45 minutes and make $60? Yeah, okay, like just suck it up.
Yeah.
But if they're like I don't know if I could deal with, I don't swear. I don't know if I could deal with a client that just swore every second word. So, but then I would approach that as, okay, we're in my house. Do you think you could mind like not saying the F word? Because I have children. And I don't know. I feel like there's a way around everything. But if I came across a client that I just didn't enjoy, still making money from her, like, is she actually affecting my life in a negative way, or is it just 45 minutes of unpleasantness?
I've had a client that was like affecting my life in a negative way, just purely because I don't want to describe it in case I don't want it to get back to her, but like I have had a person who I really like. At first it was fine, and then it was less fine, and then it was less fine, and then I would dread the fact that she was coming that afternoon,
nice.
And then I wouldn't be happy when she left and the next person came. I still had the sort of dregs of so I just started making it really difficult. In like, I didn't want to say I don't want to do your nails anymore because she knew other people that came here. I wasn't not doing nails.
That's hard.
It was one person. So I just stopped bending for her, so you want to change it? I can't. You want to do this? I can't. You want me to rush something? I can't. And so I started just basically not bending any rules for her, and then she self-eliminated.
And that's okay. Like, you can say I can't, and the reason can be in your head because I don't want to. Like, it's your business.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, it'd be different if you worked at a nail salon for somebody else. Like,
but even then, I would encourage you to actually talk to the boss, because if that had been one of my staff members who really just couldn't deal with a client, then I want my staff to be happy, and I want my clients to be happy, and I want everyone to be having a good time while they're there. So I would want the opportunity to make sure that this person only rebooked with other people, and if it was an actual fundamental like she's making us all unhappy, then the boss should be in charge of stopping that.
And also, I think you have some in your power. Sometimes there's something in your power to actually stop the negative situation from being a negative situation. So maybe if you find it a negative situation because they always talk about religion, then stop talking about religion. Like, just steer it away. And yes, there are plenty of people in the world that don't get hints. Like, they just don't get hints. But I would try all these things before firing them.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
I think I've only ever fired, well, other than when I did a full client cull and I moved from 300 to 15 clients. But other than that, I think I've really only fired one person who had cancelled or moved 7 appointments in a row, and I just said to her, I'm really sorry, I can't do your nails anymore because it has cost me a full day's work in missed appointments. She stopped coming, and so did her daughter and her daughter's best friend, but like, she'd already cost me almost I don't know, 6 months of appointments or whatever. Other than that, I think I've only ever had people, I don't know, I've just stopped bending over backwards for people that I felt didn't deserve that, and then they stopped coming because they're used to you bending over backwards and suddenly you're not. I don't think I've had, like, it's all well and good to consider all these scenarios, but it's not something you have to do often.
And if you think about it, like that person likes you for being you. And so if you then change, maybe she'll stop liking you for being you and just eliminate herself.
Yeah. Cheyenne said, I had one client who always turned up 20 minutes late, was always in a really hectic headspace and tornadoed through and always made me feel super stressed. After her third booking, I started declining her booking requests because I hated the way I felt even just seeing her name, and I haven't heard from her yet this year. Yeah.
So there's a, what do you mean declining booking requests?
So an online booking would have come through, and then I suppose in the system that Cheyenne's using for her online bookings, she can decline it rather than accepting the booking.
Oh.
Yeah. I think like, I would find that really hard.
Yeah.
I would want
but then
to accept it. But
what do you use, Cheyenne?
Yeah,
like,
we want to know
booking
what system that
do
is.
you use? That's cool.
But isn't it funny though that like I would rather, like, I would be less anxious about accepting that booking and then making excuses for her not to come back another time than declining that booking and having her know that I declined that booking, which is ridiculous. That's such a weak personality trait because honesty is so much better.
Because I'd be like, well, she can read into it what she wants, but at the end of the day, it could be that my kid has a triathlon on that day.
Yeah.
And I would read it as that. If somebody declined my booking, I'd be like, oh, dang it. They can't do that day. Oh, but then if they keep on declining it.
I would be expecting them to call me, though. Like, if someone declined my booking, I would be expecting a call.
Them to follow up.
Yeah. I don't know. It is tricky. I've done it so many times. And I really pride myself on being an overly honest person, but when it comes to like potential conflict with people, I struggle a lot.
Well, yeah, and like I say that sometimes I'm a bit of a badass and I would rather just tell them the truth, but I also am religious, and I'm not going to bring religion into this, but I was brought up being told not to lie, but that actually white lies save a lot. Like, so for me, telling a white lie isn't bad because you save their feelings. Everybody kind of wins because you don't have to be in this negative situation. But then that white lie, you need to be prepared to tell her the truth if she just doesn't accept that white lie. But then also I think it's really important that you, keep quiet about that client. Like, it doesn't have to be something that goes any further than, I know that goes without saying, but you don't have to even hint at a client who keeps that's just between you and her. You can tell the white lie. If she doesn't accept the white lie, then tell her the truth.
Well, funnily enough, Moana's commented and said the clients she wants advice on, she's fired them before. They come together back to back and they've come back. I don't know. It depends why as well, though, I think.
They come together and have back-to-back appointments, and now they're back.
Cheyenne also said that the declining bookings is through Timely.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know. Let's see what more.
I don't know. I think I just get to the point where I tell them. I don't know. It just depends. Like, why are you not wanting to rebook them?
Like the person that self-eliminated that I was talking about before, I was this close to saying to them, like, I'm really sorry, but I can't do your nails anymore. And she would have asked why, and I would have told her.
Yeah.
And I would have been polite about it, but I tried everything or everything subtle. And then, eventually it worked, but I wasn't enjoying time. I was very close to just telling her straight up that I didn't want to do her nails anymore. So let's have a look at a couple of other quick questions that some of our students actually posted for us, and we've got a few that we can use in other podcasts as well. But Bernice said, how often do you advertise deals or specials on social media without it being too much for clients? So there's a standard marketing rule for social media, especially the 80-20 rule, where 80% of your content should be free value and 20% should be selling. And that's not deals or specials. That's just selling, calls to action where you're asking someone to buy from you.
Hmm.
And so the 80-20 rule, the free value should really reflect why people come on social media. So let's say Facebook, for example. People come on Facebook. Like, why do you use Facebook, Jessie?
For me, it's information and connecting.
So connecting with humans.
Yes.
And I use it to like I use it when I'm bored and I mindlessly scroll. I'm looking for distraction, I guess.
My Facebook scrolling has gone down so much. I literally go on to check my notifications, respond to events or whatever, speak to people on Messenger, and just make sure everything's in order. Whereas my Instagram is my
same, actually.
Pretties and scrolling and having fun.
I didn't use Instagram for the longest time. I had it, but I never scrolled it. I hated it, and now I love it for the same reason. I just use it a lot more.
If I was advertising, it would probably be more Facebook. I mean, I guess I tell my Instagram that I'm having a special, but I don't know.
But in general, people are using social media for distraction, for procrastination, for connecting with real people, for entertainment, things like that. They're not using it to buy. Like, you don't go, you know what, I really need a new handbag, let's click Instagram. That's not how that works.
No.
So when you are doing your 80-20, your 80% should be things that people enjoy, things that help people procrastinate, things that help people be distracted, things that make people feel like they're connecting with a real human. Like, you need to use social media. Like,
I follow some shops that I've never bought anything from. I like their stuff, but I've never bought anything from. But I go on because they post like hilarious memes, and I like the community that they've created.
Yeah, exactly. So 80% of your content should be that, and then 20% should be is where you can fit your sales in. And for a nail salon, that 80% can be things like memes. We talked in a previous episode about like the debate on whether or not memes are a good or bad thing in your social media, so you can check a couple of episodes ago for that discussion. But things like memes or tips, like information, help people learn, and then just pictures of your work that you've done, because it is entertaining for people to see really good nail work. They're like, oh, that's cool. That makes me happy because it's pretty. But actually asking someone to book should be 20%. And then as for for Monaco Nail Academy, we try and make our actual content on our page 100% free value, and then we use the 20% for like our ads. We'll put a campaign up, and that's what we consider our 20%. Or sometimes we'll put it in our Facebook group where there's people who are like, who know us better. But yeah, we try and make it 80% our 100% of our content is just for social media, like entertainment, procrastination, information, and then the rest is we'll run an ad campaign. But with Bernice asking about actual deals and specials, as few as possible. I
tend to do, don't go look at my page. I'm like a real newbie right now. I tend to do a deal a month, because it's not only about like not overwhelming your clients, but like I can't be overwhelmed with keeping on top of like what I'm offering people. And so I know for the whole month, this is what I'm offering. And what I mean, don't go check, is I don't always post about it. But when I see my clients, I'm like, this is what we're doing this month. So last month, it was free foils all month. And it benefits me and it benefits them, because I wanted my clients to see what foils are and how cheap I can add it to the service and how cool they are. So I add them for free because nobody was ever going to choose them.
Had you worn them? Could they not just see how cool they are by seeing them on your nails and then paying full price for them?
Say that
Radio
again.
silence.
Say that again.
Like, instead of you giving them away for free to all your clients, couldn't you have just put them on yourself, and then they'll see how cool they are, and then they'll be like, how much for that? And then you say $5-10, and then they pay you money for it.
Just because foil, I don't know. It was just thanks for the tip.
I definitely need to practice what I preach more, because I have some big financial goals this year via Monaco Nail Academy. And so I think definitely over the last few months, we've discounted too much stuff. Like, I'm working with a business coach, and one thing she said was like, get rid of all the things that aren't making you money. So there's a few product lines where I'm like, okay, well, we won't restock that, and we'll mark it down and get rid of it. So we've discounted that, or we've, gone, okay, well, I want to reach this goal this month, so how can we get more funds in? And so we do a discount. I don't want to be known as a discount brand.
Yeah.
And so I want to say to you guys, like, don't discount ever, but I can't because I do. But definitely my goal this year, and actually I genuinely have a spreadsheet that I update every single Monday with any discounts that we gave, and I've been categorizing them, and I won't do this forever, but it's so that I can actually revisit and visualize and be more mindful of what discounts we're giving so that I can get rid of them.
Yeah. And how much money you didn't make by giving that discount.
And like, for me personally, with like, for example, your foil special, if I want to put foils on people, I'll put them on myself, and then I'll tell everybody like, oh, I just got this, or I've been playing with this. I've had it for a while and I'm just playing with this. Do you want it for, $5 for feature nails, or whatever it is, rather than doing it for free. Just because you're in danger of becoming a discount brand. And that's where I think I am at the moment as well. That's a big thing for me at the moment, is reducing the discounts that we're doing. And
I think the reason I had started it was because most of my clients are new, and if you know me, you know I'm not like a huge nail artist. I'm
you don't even really like wearing it, right?
Yeah, nail art. So for me, offering the foils for free was a way of introducing my clients to the fact that, like, I can do nail art. Let's be a little bit more adventurous here. Whereas I find it way more awkward to sell it. See, like, because in my head, I've only just started getting the regular clients. And so, like, I feel like over 6 months, I will have introduced them to glitter, foils, pigments, flowers, hand-painted lines, and then I can start doing different special. But those people are going to be like, oh yeah, I remember she did foils and I really enjoy foils, but they were free the last time I got them. How much are they for a set? $10. Okay, that's not much. Yeah, I'll get the foils.
But then the danger is, and I'm very hypocritical here because I know the stuff, I'm just not practicing what I preach, but the danger is that they'll never pay for anything because they'll wait and see what's on special this month. So they'll always get the thing that's on special this month. That's what I would do. I'd be like, I'm on a budget. I want nail art.
Yeah, because they always get the free thing.
Yeah, exactly. So you
and
just
they always
wear
end
the
up
free
with
thing.
Matching nails.
The thing is, as well, you're referring to regulars who were going to come anyway. So they already know that you do good work. They're already giving you money. They're not going to care about giving you an extra $5 or an extra $10. And all they need to do is see it. So you just have to put it on yourself. And I need to keep focusing on my goal this year of reducing the discounts and becoming like a quality brand, because I know what we do here is high quality and I know it's worth what we charge, but I don't want to be known as like I don't want people messaging and being like, hey, do you have any specials coming up? Like, no, I want you to assume I don't.
True. Yeah.
So let's do one more question before we go. So let's see. Let's have a look at these questions. This one ties in well with what we've already talked about. So let's chat about this. It's another one from Bernice from before. So she said, do you send a newsletter once a month or every 2 weeks? What's the format or layout of the newsletter? So I assume she's talking about like email newsletters. I think like no one really sends them any other way, right? Like it would be an email newsletter.
Yeah, well, how else would you send them?
So I would say monthly. We have our mailing list split into different categories. So like if ever anyone receives something more than once a month from us, it's because
they're on two
lists. But we still only send something fortnightly. So the maximum you could get something from us is fortnightly, but we're doing two different lists, if that makes sense. So we're trying to get people to see something monthly unless they themselves have opted in on two different things. In terms of, 2 to 4 weekly is totally fine, but monthly is generally enough. You don't want someone being like, oh, them again. like, and just deleting it
and unsubscribing because the content. And so what you've got to think of is if you're doing it more often than that, can you actually fill it with content?
Yeah,
like,
it's
and
hard.
if it's just dribble, then people aren't gonna be reading it. Whereas if it's once a month and it's full of good content and it's really fun to look at and informative to look at and creates revenue and all that, then great. But if you're just pushing to get it out every week because you want people to be thinking about you every week, you're actually just annoying them.
Yeah, like, and the 80-20 rule has to apply to email newsletters as well. Like 80% interesting stuff, 20%.
And to me, a newsletter is a full A4 sheets worth of stuff.
Yeah.
And that's all the 20%, right?
Yeah.
So
So like with the 80%, you're going to want to like tell them a little bit about what you've been up to. I will usually put in a link to a YouTube video that's relevant, and I'll put the like a thumbnail in, and they click to go view the YouTube video, but it'll be like a cool design I found or something that I want to encourage my clients to get. I will put in like a meme or something funny. Occasionally, like we used to do like a client story of the month kind of thing. So, you know, like you chat to your clients and they tell you everything. So if someone had a particularly funny story, I would ask if I could include it in the newsletter.
That's cool.
And you do it anonymously.
And then they look for it.
Yes. But like you would get permission. So you're not going to be like, oh my God, did you know that my client Jessie just like broke up with her husband and all the scandal? Like, it's not a gossipy thing. It's like, they've said a funny story and you're like, can I share that with people? And it just becomes interesting and entertaining, and then people will click
and you're
the newsletter.
engaging your audience.
People will click on it to read the funny story or to see the meme or to look at the YouTube video, and then as an aside we'll see your 20, which is your, by the way, this month and I wouldn't even make it, by the way, this month you get free foils. I would make it, by the way, this month we have 3 new colors of foils. This is what they look like on my hand. And, let me know if you want to book them.
I have new Salon stock. This is stuff that I now stock in my salon and can sell to you. Now I stock daddy oil. Like, okay, Because I go to the chiropractor regularly now.
Same.
And he has is that an age thing?
I was going to say a nail tech thing, but it probably is. Cool. We'll go with nail tech.
Yeah, that's it. That's my story, and I'm sticking with it. He has a newsletter every month. I don't think it's him that does it. I think it's his receptionist, but I flippin' love it. And like, I would probably go in there and grab it, even if I didn't go in for a monthly appointment, because it's fun. And it's fun, and he gives you, like stories, quotes, fun facts, Q&As with some of his clients. And then, it's like almost, it's 2 double-sided pages. And then there's only like one little corner where he's showing you his Posturepedic pillow that he's selling.
He's nailing 80-20.
Yeah.
Tony said, do people actually care about emails? For me, it would be such an effort to create a monthly email, and I don't want to put myself through that if no one will even read it. And so
I'm not currently doing one.
Tony hates social media. So I feel like if you hate social media, don't do a mailing list. Like, don't do a newsletter, because they are hard work. But consistency and the 80-20 rule mean people will actually read them. So I've got like 3 or 4 that I am subscribed to that I actually look at, and then everyone else I delete, because that's something else Tony said, is she knows that she never opens emails from companies that send a monthly newsletter. So when I subscribe, I will always click the first couple, right? Like the first couple that they send, I'll click and see if it's any good. And there are 3 or 4 that have survived who either inspire me or just entertain me, or like it's worth me looking. So
it's the same with my Pilates instructor. Like, I pay quite a bit to go to my Pilates instructor, and she's amazing. But this term I haven't been able to go, just because I have quite a lot of stuff going on in my life. And I just want to get on top of those things before I go back. But I emailed her because it's important to me that I communicate with people, especially when they're expecting money from me. Like, so she expects that I rebook. So I emailed her a personal email, and I said to her at the end, I said, I'm not leaving you. Can you please keep sending me your newsletters? Because they're so good, and they're so personal, and they're so fun.
What's good about
she's so passionate about what she talks about. Like, I don't particularly care about all the muscles in the body and how they work, but I enjoy reading about, seeing how passionate she is about it. And so it is interesting to me because of the way she talks about it.
People that do a real good job of newsletters, it is like a really strong marketing tool. I'm definitely not a natural at them, only because they are a lot of work. But if you're consistent, then they're really good. And there's actually a lot of advice that people who have like strong social media marketing should definitely rely on a mailing list and build that more, because Facebook can close your account anytime at once. Instagram can close your account anytime at once. Like, you don't own that following. Whereas when you have an email marketing list, you do own the list. And so if something happened and Facebook closed your account or stopped you using it for a month or whatever, you can still access all your customers. But you definitely have to do a good job, though.
I would be interested in doing one, but right now my struggle is consistency. I'd love to do a podcast on consistency if you want to write that down.
Yeah, I will write that down.
That is my hardest struggle. And so right now, a newsletter would be in the too hard basket because I just simply don't have the time to come up with that content. I don't even have the time right now to be consistent with me posting even sets of nails I've done. And so for me, I can't take that on right now. Yeah. But I do enjoy them.
And I have it.
They're done right.
Yes. I have it in my calendar every fortnight to put one together. And then I don't, because it is so much effort.
And then if you're going to put one together, you kind of have to put one together the next month too. Like, you can't just tease people if it's going to be a good one.
I know when I have the time and brain power to put to them, I can do them. But the thing is, for me, I do have to put brain power to it. It doesn't just naturally flow out. So sometimes it goes in the too hard basket, but definitely,
thanks, Penny.
Definitely they are really good if you do them well. And other Penny just said, Jessie, I love your honesty.
Yeah, I said thanks, Penny. That's one of my biggest qualities. There's no other point in being any other way.
Yeah. I want to be the most honest person I can, and I think I usually am. But when it comes to hurting other people's feelings or potential conflict, that I struggle.
See, I trust people the most when they're honest about their feelings. I don't want to be guessing, which
Do you know
is
what's
why
interesting?
I like you.
Yeah, that's what's interesting, though, is that I can be...
She's honest about her feelings. And I am so, like, that is something that I'm so grateful for in friendships. I'm just like, oh, good. Now I don't have to guess whether you hate me or not.
No, totally.
Like, if you're going to be mad, like in a friendship, people get mad. Just tell me that you're mad.
Yeah.
Don't
and it's really easy to work with each other because we both know the other is super honest, so it's just easy. Like, I can be honest with you because I know you're going to be honest back, and therefore I don't have to worry that being honest with you is going to hurt your feelings.
It's really refreshing.
Alrighty, guys, we are going to leave this week's podcast there and come back next week with new Q&As. You can put questions and anything that you want us to chat about in the comments of our Facebook video, which we record live and then move the podcast recording onto YouTube and Spotify and all those good places. So you have been listening to myself, Penny. My Instagram and Facebook is at Penny Lawler Nail Artist, LAWLER. And Jessie, what's your Instagram handle?
Shine Nail Design NZ.
Shine like sunshine.
Yes.
Shine Nail Design NZ. Same on Facebook?
Yes.
Awesome. So you guys can go and give her a like because, as she said, she's just building up her clientele now, and we need to put some pressure on her to get those social media posts out. So let us know if there's anything specific you'd like us to talk about next week. And until then, have a great week and go and do some clients, make some money. Bye.
See you.